Without the artists in this industry, there is no industry. When you go back and look at history, Liverpool expanded and grew out from the docks.
You're taking part of the Liverpool history and putting it into your show, which is great.
I wouldn't let them work in my shop because I don't like the work. We're not going to let them work the convention because you're devaluing everyone.
Oh, hello, I can see people now.
I was pressing the unmute and it just wasn't happening.
Fair enough. Hello, Brad. Hello, James.
Hey, mate.
You all right, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, boys. I was going to say, how's the tap coming along?
Yeah, it's all right. He's not by my nipple yet.
Oh, okay then. So is that soon to come today, or is that another day?
To come today.
Oh God, you don't look happy about that. Cool. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for spending some time with me to just go through the docs and having a good little conversation about that. Did you want to give yourself a little bit of an introduction and who you are and where you currently actually are at the moment as well?
Yeah, so I'm James Brennan. This is
Brad. I'm Brad Walsh.
We work here at Stag and Bones Tattoo in Liverpool, and we're co-owners of the Docks Liverpool Tattoo and Arts Expo, which will be on the 18th and 19th of May this year at the Exhibition Centre, Liverpool.
Lovely stuff. Good intro. So, obviously, we know about the docks, we know the date, we know the location, but what we don't know is who are the organisers, and also, how did the convention actually come about in the first place?
Yeah, so there's three of us, myself, Brad, and then we've got Greg. Greg's like a long-term client of mine. I've been tattooing him for years, running out of space on him. Externally, we've got one other person, like Sarah, her name is. So we'd set tasks of what needs to be done and timelines of when they need done by. But she's good where she'll keep on top of that of like, right, you said you wanted this done by this date. Have you got the artwork ready for it?
So we'll definitely be seeing a lot of Sarah at the show, no doubt. So you mentioned Greg before, right?
Yeah.
Right, and a good long-term client of yourselves then. So how did you three sort of come together to sort of make the Docks Liverpool convention? Where did that all sort of stem from then?
So it stems back about 4 or 5 years ago. Just talking in the shop. I think we'd come back from the old Liverpool Tattoo Convention, and we were kind of saying how we would do it different, and we'd love to do it. Not ever transpired of that because the old Liverpool Tattoo Convention was still going, so we would never do that to Ant as such, and then
Ant Nichols, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah. So then Ant Nichols did a post saying that it's that was the last Liverpool Tattoo Convention and he's not going to be doing it anymore. And then that reignited that thought and that conversation.
Yeah.
So we were all speaking, and it was at the same time, it was, if we don't do that, someone else is going to. And then it led on to the amount of tattoo conventions in UK and the standards, and this is not a dig at other tattoo conventions, but out of all the UK tattoo conventions, there's like 6 that are like good ones, but there's one every weekend, really. You know.
So you're saying that from your artist perspective, you would probably say you think you can sort of give this a bit of an elevation to a convention, and you know what you would like as an artist if you was attending working the show then?
Yeah, well, if you look at most tattoo conventions, or even the industry as a whole, it's slowly being taken over by the corporate world of non-tattooers, and it's our industry. So I've always felt, and I know speaking to like other artists, that they'd felt when they work in a convention, they're just a cash cow. They're there just to make money for someone who's a non-tattooer, making profit off our industry. So it was like, okay, well, the only way you can change that is by taking control of it and taking it back. So that was the idea of this show being ran by artists for artists. So that's basically where it had come about. So before we even announced, me and Brad were like chatting to like our friends, other artists, and saying, what's your favourite thing about tattoo conventions and what's your worst things? So we can try and hit all the good things we've seen from all our travels over the years, from conventions all around the world, to the bits that we hated about certain tattoo conventions, and making sure we fix that problem and don't put it in. So it's not just our perspective, but we tried to do that research off our friends in the industry as well.
That's good. Okay.
It was only like small things that needed to change as well, though. Like, it wasn't like what people were giving us information wise wasn't like change the whole thing completely, was it? It was like, well, I appreciated this from this show, and I didn't appreciate this from the show, and they were small things.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, we'll just fine tune those things to create the almost like the perfect one in the artist's eye.
So taking the best bits from certain elements and certain shows and kind of coming together as one big kind of like, you know, improvement.
And the biggest thing that we felt would improve a UK tattoo convention is it maintaining a high standard. So it not being, oh, as long as you're willing to pay for a booth, then we'll give you a space, which a lot kind of felt that way. So we're more on the, well, we are on more of the lines of, okay, if we only end up with 100 good artists, then we're only going to have 100 booths.
Yeah.
So our profit margins should only come from the people buying tickets to come and walk around. And that's what'll make it good for artists. And as an artist, you should feel privileged to be working a show. Not privileged to work our show, but you should be like, as in, you should feel pride.
Yeah.
You know, like I like first starting tattooing, and it was when I worked my first tattoo convention in 2014 or 15, I felt proud of myself that I'm now getting to work a convention, and other people are going to be seeing me, and I'm working it with these artists and stuff like. So that was part of the big process of it, is making sure there's a standard set, and it's not based off how many followers you've got. It's based on your work.
It's like the accomplishment of it.
Yeah.
For both the convention runners and the artists in it.
Yeah.
Because you want to feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself in a way, as well as knowing you've accomplished the task of being there, you know?
Yeah. I'm not like, you know, slandering any other UK tattoo conventions, but I kind of feel it's went so corporate that it's just a cash cow. I mean, we all know certain tattoo conventions that, like, they, you know, go back 5-6 years ago, there was a waiting list to get on them.
Yeah.
You know, and for you to get on that show, when you finally got on it, you were like, right, because they've looked at me work and now I feel valued.
Yeah.
And then if you move forward to, you know, just before COVID and all the lockdowns, and it was like, I was working a few shows and I'm looking going, there's someone who's only just finished their apprenticeship and the work's not good, or a junior artist, and they're in the booth next to me. And it's like, so then it devalued my thoughts of working that show. So
I see where you're coming from, especially from your perspective, being in the industry for so many years, and then you see these new coming artists, which is great to see them at the shows, but then you look at the quality level and it's very fragmented across the whole board, isn't it?
That's it, because there's still some junior artists that have been junior artists for a good time, and they're really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the fact that they were junior artists, it's just the quality, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's some artists that, you know, we've had applications from some people who've been tattooing 20, 30 years. But at the same time, if I wouldn't let them work in my shop because I don't like the work, I'm not going to let them work the convention, or we're not going to work the convention, because you're devaluing everyone by letting a lower standard in.
Yeah.
I
completely understand where you're going from. I mean, you've got to juggle two different sort of mental states of this. You're an organizer of a show, but you're also an artist that understands quality. So you've got to find that good blend, haven't you, I suppose?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So obviously that's sort of how the convention sort of came about then. Is this the first thing that you guys have sort of done event-wise, or is there any previous experience from yourself or Greg that has ever done events before?
So Greg had done a couple of like corporate things before. I know from me, I hadn't organised an event on this scale before. So there's definitely been loads of lessons learned. Don't know if you, or I don't think you have either. Yeah. So there's definitely loads of lessons learned. I was in the army for 12 years. So the organisation skills from that side have definitely helped with...
translate them over to this style of event organisation.
Yeah, like, writing written instructions, timelines, organising, getting down to the logistics of things and how it can work. It's transpired quite easy.
Okay. I suppose there's a lot of lessons in a non-negative sense. There's a lot of lessons that you'll learn from this as well, being the first time and that. Do you guys have sort of like a long-term vision for this, as in going further forward in the future with another show or bigger show, or is it a case of let's do this first one and evaluate?
I mean, the goal right from the off is the Liverpool Tattoo Convention, or, the Docks Liverpool, and that growing and growing. And the ultimate goal is where we used to have the London Tattoo Convention, that was the Mecca.
Yeah.
The goal is that it's fully invitational only, and the standard is always maintained, and that people want to come and work our show from all around the world. Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so it seems there's a great long-term vision in that. Obviously, you've got ourselves, Starr Tattoo Supplies, on board with the show being a trader, but you've also got Killer Inc. on board as well. Two really big and great companies to have on board. Obviously, James, we've known each other for many years and we've worked together. Brad, you've worked with Killer for many years as well. What are your reasons for, obviously there's the connection itself, which is undeniable, but what's the reasons for you guys choosing Starr and Killer to be at your show?
But the main one, you kind of touched on it, was like...
It was the connections, for the most part, wasn't it? And to be fair, I think it was like, we see them both as the two best supply companies, we would say.
Yeah, so the two big powerhouses within the supply world. So it makes sense of we're trying to have that same impact with the convention. You want the two biggest supply companies there.
Yeah.
Between the two companies, yourself and Killer, there's not a product that you haven't really got. So it was kind of a situation of, who else do we need at the show other than those two?
Yeah.
As well, wasn't it? Because of the same reason, you've both got everything between you, even other brands that come from separate companies,
Yeah, absolutely. We get along with Killer really well. They're a fantastic bunch of lads and girls there, and obviously we've got good connections with, everyone in the industry and you guys as well. So there could be a very good group of people involved with that. But anyway, that conversation's for another time. So back to the convention. Do you have any particular expectations of the convention? I mean, obviously you've got your plans, you've got your ideas, you've probably got all sorts of schedules in place for, what the day of Saturday and Sunday and this and the other. But do you have any kind of post-convention expectations that you want to sit down and go, yeah, I'm happy that this happened, or, anything like that?
The main one for me personally is that all the artists come away from it on the Sunday and just have positive feedback.
Yeah.
So that they go, that was an awesome show. I cannot wait to work that next year.
Yeah.
That's if that happens, which I believe it will, then it's a success in my eyes.
Yeah. You want the feeling where they say, I'm glad I worked that show.
Yeah.
That was great, that.
I want them going back to their studio on the Monday or Tuesday and just being like, what a weekend. I was it was rammed around me. All my business cards went, got no stickers left, sold all my prints.
Yeah.
I was busy tattooing the whole time.
Yeah.
From everyone who was who pre-books to does walk-ins, you just want it to be that. And the other little caveat on that is, if there is things they didn't like, I hope they come and say to us, mate, I didn't like this bit of it. I didn't like this. You can never please everyone, because everyone's so in this industry. So, yeah, that's the goal. That's the hope.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like you've got your head screwed on with regards to being transparent with your audience and basically your customers, essentially. Like a lot of them, you'll probably already know through the connections of the studio and your own artwork and stuff. But at the end of the day, they're paying customers, and you've got to listen to good and bad, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, we've mentioned that it's at the docks, but what was the reason for that location itself?
That's what kind of put Liverpool on the map. Is its port and it's the dock.
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense for us to have a Liverpool tattoo convention that's nowhere near the docks or the River Mersey.
Yeah. It's scenic and everything there as well.
Yeah, it's
just not bad to look out over the Mersey. Like, I know it's not the greatest view of Birkenhead, but
yeah. At the same time,
still quite nice to look
it's
over.
part of the heritage of Merseyside. You know, even when you look at anywhere in the city centre, and you look at the old statues or old plaques on some of these, you know, like old stone buildings, it's all nautical. It's all reference to the docks.
It's aesthetically great, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole dock section of Liverpool is it's great looking, isn't it?
You know, like the first. You know, when you go back and look at history, Liverpool expanded and grew out from the docks. You know, like the first bit of its slums from Everton Hills and to, you know, probably still is.
Yeah. So it sounds like that was a dig at somebody outside the camera shot there.
That's where he's from.
Fair enough. But it sounds like you're taking part of the Liverpool history and putting it into your show, which is great, really, because there's a lot of tattoo conventions out there that really don't sort of channel into the actual location that all these people are coming towards and traveling from to go to. So it sounds like you've got there's a nice bit of a heritage touch with your show.
Yeah.
So obviously we've already mentioned that all sorts of other shows. I mean, I don't know what the record is for how many shows in a UK year there can be, but there is a lot of tattoo shows at the moment. So without being biased, do you guys have anything that you think will make your show stand out from the crowd? Or do you have anything that's like a bit of something that someone hasn't done before, or maybe like a bit of a featured element to your show that you think you haven't seen at other conventions before?
I don't think it's one set thing. I think it's a combination of all the good things that'll make a difference. So
I was just thinking that there's quite a lot of stuff that we thought about that's been some genuine thought. Like even like I would say like the awards, like James has made all the awards himself. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
So like
you know. So
like his dining table's gone.
Yeah, I need to buy.
Oh, okay.
To buy Haley a new dining room table.
Yeah. Even that I think is a big thing, because we looked at the option of buying an award and just sticking a plaque on it, and it would have been good. It would have looked good, but it's not going to be the same as soon as we give those awards out and it's handmade. I think something like that's just so different.
Yeah, it's kind of like as artists, you kind of feel like, why am I getting someone else to design the poster or the flyer? And
being in like a creative industry, it feels like everything creative should be from an organic source rather than just like a template or a rip-off.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Even like the plaques getting engraved. So instead of, you know, we could get it cheaper if it just went online to a company, but it went to like a local Liverpool. You know, there's an old guy who engraves the old football things in Liverpool. You know, so I went to do them. You know, it's just them little tiny things, and the fact that they're all handmade. But like other little things that sets us apart is like, you know, we've not just spammed people with emails getting them to invite. Everyone who's been invited got given, like, posted out an invitation. You know.
Yeah, you guys did the wax seal on it as well, didn't you?
Which is an absolute nightmare. You know, we sent out like 250 invites, and they're all hand signed by us, you know, printed off on nice paper, folded, placed in, wax sealed. Then, you know, you look like a madman going to the post office. Can I have 250 first class stamps? Going straight back to them to post them.
Yeah.
But it's like that little nice touch. The fact that we are artists running it. Like that's the other. That's probably one of the biggest differences. And I know there is some conventions that are run by artists, but at a push, most, even if it's run by someone in the industry, it's someone who just owns a tattoo magazine or they own a tattoo studio, but they've never tattooed.
Right.
It's that, artists, without the artists in this industry, there is no industry. But so much of the corporate world, for good things as well, have just went, no, that's our industry and all you artists are going to work for us.
Yeah, I see what you mean by that. Yeah.
But obviously that's not a dig at like supply companies and stuff like that, because I wouldn't.
No offense taken there, James.
I wouldn't want to go back to, I have to wait for one tattoo convention a year to get my year's supply of inks from another artist who's making them. I wouldn't want to go back to those days. I want to get it next day delivery.
Yeah.
But them little tiny things I think will make the difference.
Is the positioning of the artists at the convention.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a big thing that we've tried to do is we give artists a chance to pick where they want to sit in the convention, roughly.
Oh, okay.
Because like James was saying, some people, like James, you said, people that would hate being by the stage.
Yeah.
So we'd give that option to people potentially by saying, if you don't want to be by the stage and the music does your head in, let us know and we'll sit you away from the stage.
Okay. That's the first time that's the first time I've honestly seen that visibly said out loud by an organizer of a show. Like, I know some people have to message and say, can I sit next to so-and-so or blah, blah, blah. But having that element to it, because again, you guys have done tattoo shows before, some people hate this and love this. Some people love being by the fire exit. Some people really don't give a shit where they are. Like, there's loads of different factors, isn't there? So it's good that you've acknowledged that. So
half will have already received it and half will be getting it next week, or this weekend coming, sorry. So it's like the artist manual, artist and traders manual.
Yeah.
So on that, it's got the floor plan and then obviously has the booths numbers, but I've left all the names off there so far. So I've sent that to everyone, and on the response that I've asked them to give is give me 3 possible locations of where you'd like. Now, I can't promise to make everyone happy because that's just not possible.
It's impossible.
But I'll try my best. And then the other thing I asked is, if there's an artist you don't want to be next to, let me know. And there is there's some people who've messaged me them things already. Like listen, I just can't. Previous work with that person, complications. I don't want to be next to them. Which is understand. It's life. And then there's people like, I really want to be by this person. So if I can get more than 50% of them happy, then that's a win. At least we tried.
At least we're trying.
Yeah, so, well, that's a lot more than what other convention organisations do. So, I think everything you've said at the moment is really going in the right direction for what a show should be. Obviously, with everything that happens during the Saturday and Sunday, nothing ever goes 100%. We all know this. There's always, at any sort of event, not even a tattoo convention, but any event that you go to, there's always something that isn't 100%, and that's just a given. So if you've got all these plans in place previous and you've got all the transparency with your audience, I think you're already onto a winner with this show, from my perspective.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. A little shout out to Sylvia and the Leeds Tattoo Convention. It's them little tiny touches, and this is a really good example. Every year I've worked that show, Sylvia would come round and make sure you've stopped to have a break. And it's just a nice little touch. You come round and it feels like your mum's kind of telling you off, have you had your dinner? It's just that little bit of care. It goes a long way. So the staff that we've got, instead of just having 5 or 10 members of staff that work for our corporation, or, if you're this big company, the way we've done it is we've got 10 of my clients and 10 of Brad's clients. So they know what it's like to get tattooed all day. They know how it feels. They kind of, some of them have been tattooed at conventions before, but they're all our clients that we know and trust. So the hope is that if they walk around and see an artist who hasn't got an assistant, and it looks like the client's struggling, it's like, do you want a fizzy drink, or do you need a bottle of water, or do you want me to break down some kitchen roll for you? You know, just them things, as I say, will go a long way.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, again, that's another part of the, although it may happen at shows, I don't think it's visibly said out loud or actually said out loud on social media and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, another reason why I'm really looking forward to it. Us at Starr, really looking forward to the show. It's nice to have like a good, decent connection with a brand new organisation, brand new convention like yourselves. Yeah. So anything that you guys want us to do in the lead up to it, anything you want us to do during, we are super on board to help and make it big with you guys as well. So just know that.
Really, really appreciate it, Dan. Thank you, mate.
Yeah. To be honest with you, that's all my questions that I kind of want to get out talking about the show and stuff. So if there's anything else that you guys sort of want to mention, or maybe like you said about a shout out, if there's anything else you guys want to mention and have it sort of put out online about the show, like now's the chance for anything really.
When we're saying this is, ran by artists and for artists, that element of for artists is we want to get as many people in the door, walk around customer-wise as possible. So if any of the artists that are working the show, please share it, share the link to the ticket sales, them type of things, because that's going to help everyone.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. So that element of it's for artists means for every element of the artist. So the music's not too loud for the artists. It's not the exact same acts, but at the same time, the entertainment is there for the people walking around, so that you've got people entertained who want to watch you tattoo, and you can, as an individual artist in a booth, you can sell your paintings, your prints.
Awesome. Right. Well, I'll let you carry on with your tattoo. Hopefully your tit doesn't hurt too bad after today, James.
Cheers,
yeah. Nice one. Cheers, James. Cheers, Brad. And I'll see you to our boys. Bye-bye.